After decades of dreaming to become a video game designer, 3 years ago I decided to jump into the world of indie game development. 3 months later, I released my first full indie title on Steam, GLO. 3 years on, and now GLO is set to release on the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch on September the 9th, 2021. Kick off your shoes and relax your socks while I tell you the story about GLO and how I achieved my dream of releasing a video game for PlayStation and Nintendo consoles. First off, let's talk about GLO. GLO is an abstract puzzle platformer where the main mechanic is that your world is shrouded in darkness, and you need to use the light from yourself and projectiles to illuminate the world around you to find your way to the exits of each level. A simple concept, yet a devilishly difficult game. A game which challenges players like the best retro classic games, but does it in a way whereby the player doesn't feel cheated. Quick restarts let you learn every step of the way, so with every restart, you get a little bit further and learn a little bit more about your environment. An environment which doesn't just hide the platforms that you need to escape the levels, but also hides a narrative to what is a much more complex story than the simplistic visuals might have you think. You see, GLO is designed to represent the difficulty and the challenge that you can face trying to escape any darkness, but with the one remaining fact is that there is always light at the end. GLO challenges the player over 100 levels and 4 boss battles in a carefully designed and increasing difficulty curve that lets the players know what's coming before it's coming, so there's no nasty surprises despite the fact that everything is hidden. Now, that is what describes GLO to the player, but what is GLO to me, the developer? GLO to me was the first opportunity I had to create an actual world that players could enter and explore, a world in which I could create the rules, I could create the ideas, but it was up to the player to explore. And that concept in video games has been so important and so strong with me ever since my earliest days of playing video games. One of the biggest inspirations of GLO, and one I always refer to, are the secret pipe sections of Super Mario Bros. I still remember the first time I ever came across those. The concept that there was a section of the map, a section of this world that was hidden, a part of the world I didn't know existed, but was there to be found and explored, completely blew my mind. From that point on, I realized that video games were not just necessarily what was presented on the screen, but there was this deeper, more complex world that lived behind them. A world created by the developers. A world for the players to explore. The ability for the developer to add anything into this world that they are creating, absolutely blows my mind, and that was the biggest inspiration to GLO. A world which seems so simplistic and hidden, yet hides so much detail, and parts of the world that the player might never ever see, but still exist regardless, for the most eager and keen players to find, if they ever do. With that idea in my head, I set about over a weekend and developed the first prototype for GLO, which was basically just a character moving around a dark environment. But that moment of realizing that I could turn my thought into a real concept was a huge milestone for me, and from that point on I was so driven, and I set the milestone to complete GLO, my first indie game, in 3 months, to see if I could do it, to see if I could achieve what I set my mind to. 3 months later, I released GLO on Steam, something I was really proud of, but along the way there were so many things that did occur that I really didn't expect to happen. And those only happened by putting myself out there in a way that really felt uncomfortable. A big part of the game development world, and I suppose any artistic environment as you enter it as a newcomer, is the imposter syndrome. And there were many times where I thought, who am I kidding? Who's going to play my games? Anybody who sees this, any real developers, any real game developers, are going to think this is a joke. But nevertheless, I still put myself out there. I talked about my game, I talked about it with family and friends, and I posted it on social media. And with that, something amazing happened. People started to see me. I was invited to expos, and I was even invited to the Intel Buzz workshop, a place in which made me feel at home as an indie game developer. Ever since that point, people always ask me, how successful was GLO? And I always say, for me, it was monumentally successful. But in terms of a release on Steam, it didn't blow any of the records. There are thousands of players around the world that have played GLO on Steam, and people that have loved it and messaged me when they've completed the game and how much they've loved the experience. And one thing that stood out with the amount of people that told me this would be amazing on the Nintendo Switch. This would be amazing on a console. 3 years later, and I'm well into my next video game that I'm developing, Gym Empire. And GLO for me as a developer was something I was happy with where it was at. However, more recently on my YouTube channel, as some of the viewers may be aware, I've started really getting into my PS Vita collecting. And throughout collecting for the PS Vita and exploring what new titles are coming, I delved more and more into the world of East Asia Soft. And it was when I was on the East Asia Soft website that I came across the section which referred to getting your game published by East Asia Soft. And it was at this point I thought, could this be the opportunity for GLO? Could this be the time that GLO comes to consoles? To cut a long story short, I got in touch with East Asia Soft. They loved the idea, and here we are now. GLO is coming to the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5 and the Nintendo Switch. A moment I never thought would come in my career as an indie game developer. A moment that if you told me as a 15-year-old lad playing Metal Gear Solid that you will make a game for the PlayStation, for the future PlayStation, or even beyond that when I was playing Super Mario Bros. On the Nintendo Entertainment System, finding those secret levels, if you told me you will be making a video game for the future Nintendo consoles, that would have blown my mind. Yet, here we are. Was it luck? Did I do anything special? Honestly, the only thing that I did was pure hard work, working every day and never giving up on the dream, and always looking for an opportunity, like the opportunity that popped up when I was on the East Asia Soft website. And this episode is for two reasons. Obviously one, to let you guys know that GLO is coming out for consoles, but two, for anybody out there who was like me a couple of years ago, with the thoughts and the ideas of could I ever make a game for video game consoles? The answer is absolutely yes. And like I said, all you need is hard work and determination. Now, if you do want to grab a copy of GLO, it will be available on the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5 and the Nintendo Switch on September the 9th, 2021 for $4.99 or for €4.99 as well. And if you're really excited for the launch like I am and you want to grab some merch like this, then head on over to the TeePublic store where the latest line of GLO t-shirts is now available and is on sale for a short period of time. Now let me know in the comments below. Will you be trying to escape the darkness on September the 9th? If you've enjoyed this episode and like video game related content like this, then hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Once again, thank you for watching and see you next time.